Mr. Uthaman, and very welcome to this fireside chat. So we have Mr. Uthaman Bakthikrishnan, who is the Executive Vice President of ClearTouch. So, Mr. Uthaman, first of all, I want to understand from you that we are seeing that contact centers and BPOs saw a huge disruption during the pandemic. Okay, so what are the trends which found prominence in this industry, and how did contact centers address the challenges that they faced?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me here. So this is one of the very popular questions we have been dealing with in the past 2 years. Like the cloud evolution was there for a long time already. It wasn't called cloud before, and then it was started calling cloud. And then what pandemic did is it accelerated that rate of pushing the customers into the cloud, or making them realize how cloud can help them instead of looking at it as a foreign object, right? One of the common misconception about the cloud was to see we are losing control of the data. Data is not secured and things like that. Whereas how it can help a situation like a pandemic, when people are not able to go out of their home, and when they are still able to deliver what they are supposed to deliver, as if they are in the office. So that was just never thought possible before, but every company, almost everybody able to pull it up and make it work. And at the end, 1 or 2 weeks they were struggling to start with, but then they all figured out how, one way or other. So agents working from home is not easy, especially for the contact center, right? We already know how our houses are set up, how crowded it can be, and how noisy it can be, and what kind of internet setup, right? But then how do you turn that into an office, right? How do you make agent to be able to deliver the same kind of interaction to their end customers, just as if he's in the office, with the best internet connection and the best environment and best headphones. Sometimes the headphones are also were not there with the agents. That's one of the major issues we faced. The reason is they didn't even anticipate this is coming, or the agents sent home abruptly, and then they are asked to take the call. They didn't even know when they're sending the agents home, they're going to be able to take the call, or they are supposed to take the call. None of them were clear. So there were so many things going on at the beginning, and so it was really a good challenge to face. But everyone came out ahead, and we were able to help lots of customers to move first hand into the cloud, or help them expand into a big way when they are already in the cloud, and with our platform. Because our platform, the beauty is you don't need to have anything else other than just the internet, and good mobile phone is also enough, not even a laptop. So we were able to support them. So
very good, definitely. So helping the agents come over through the pandemic was definitely an uphill task. Okay, so if you talk about what we are seeing as organizations are focused on digital transformation with their cloud initiatives. How do you see cloud contact center solutions contributing to their overall digital transformation efforts?
So digital transformation is about providing the best possible experience to the customers, right? What I mean by this is, so we have lots of services that are work in silos. It could be just a customer service, and then the CRM, for example, and then the core banking, or core business module. Everything is working in silos, and it is all great, and they are able to make it work and everything. But then the cloud, what the best advantage of the cloud that I see is enabling the organization to put everything together in a very nice way, and able to interact with each other, and then provide a seamless experience for a customer. As a customer, when you walk into a bank, for example, you don't have to know what a teller does. You don't have to know what the accountant does. You don't have to know how the actual transaction happens, what kind of a transaction, how the money is getting transferred. We know it is all there, but it is not necessary for a customer to experience how all these things happen. It has to be simple. That's exactly what a customer expect. When I go, I'm able to put in my money, I'm able to take my money, I'm able to write a check, I'm able to transfer a cash. That's all it matters. So when a customer is expecting that way, as a contact center provider, we have to enable that kind of a customer experience when they're facing some kind of a problem. If you think about a contact center, we come into a place where usually our organization was not able to deliver something that they are supposed to their end customers, or the customer was expecting something totally different, and then having a different expectation, and then thought it would do something and it did not do. So either way, he is calling with some kind of a discomfort, or he's contacting their the company that is providing the service with some kind of a questions. So in that case, it is very important for the enterprise customer to be able to put all the information together and give it to the agent, so who can answer this question, because at the end of the day, they are the front facing front face for their company, right? So how do they answer that question, where the money is stuck, whether it is this department, that department, or where exactly the loan is getting approved, where it is waiting. All this information have to be put together seamlessly, so the agent can answer that question within few seconds, and customer is able to get that what he is looking for, and then it's a happy story. But if anything is missing here, can be a big challenge, and that's exactly what the cloud is now accelerating to help them to integrate and put things together, and giving the best customer experience. That's all it's all about.
Very good, very good. So, as per a recent report, almost 37% of organizations in India experienced a cloud data breach over the last couple of years. Okay, owing to the complexities of cloud services, of course. What are the risks, according to you, which are associated with cloud-based contact center solutions? So, are there some risks which is attached to these kind of solutions?
There is always a risk associated with whatever we do, but there is a big misconception about the cloud, that is it is not secured. This is one of the major challenge that we face when we go and present our solution or platform to our end customers, especially financials, banking, and big healthcare. We have faced it everywhere. So why it is important to understand what a security means. The security can be different meaning for different people, and we can explain this in a very detailed way. But if you think about it, the cloud providers now Google, AWS, or Azure, the big name providers, and and there are so many other providers. So how do they go about and invest billions of dollars in setting up these data centers if they have not able to convincingly address the issue of data security for their customers, right? It is just it has to be the first building block for them to be able to go ahead and invest this much money, right? So one recent article that I have read, so what it says is there are 7.2 million data centers across the globe. 7.2 million. So this many data centers are there to serve customers across the world, right? So this is just not possible if there are if there is any security concern that what we are discussing. And if you say 7.2 million data centers, that many customers are there using them, right? Otherwise, it's of no use. So how are they trusting it, right? So it is a misconcept about cloud, not secured. It is not that. It is the data. Usually we feel in olden days, or even now, you feel keeping within the wall is safer. For example, you have anything, you buy a gold, where would you keeping it safe? You would feel safe keeping it within the house. Within the house, there is a particular room. Within that room, there is a particular closet, and within the closet there is a particular lock you put. So we are thinking, we have been brought up thinking in that way, putting it physically and feel it and close it, then you feel it's a safe or secured. But you all know we don't have a security for our home, just like a data center or a bank do, meaning like, whether it's a CCTV or it is having a proper doors that is like, not cannot be broken by the regular thieves, or it is monitored and it is like, connected to the police department, like, who respond within few minutes, if not seconds, if there is a breach, things like that. And but we cannot have the same infrastructure at our home, at our room, or at the closet that what we have at home. It's just not possible. Or even if you want to do it, it's just not going to be cost effective, right? So for that matter, it is what we think is secure, probably not that secure compared to if you are keeping it in a bank, or if you're keeping it in a place where it is more organized way of dealing with this the basic security challenges. So that's how I want to put it out for a layman to understand how the security can be assured when you move to a cloud.
So as we see that BPOs and contact centers are anyways moving on to cloud. They have adopted cloud at a very large level. So according to you, what are the best practices that you would like to suggest to build a secure and resilient contact center while offering a great experience to their customers?
So the best practices comes with how you want to use the data. So I have mentioned a few questions back. Anyone at least from our company perspective, this is how we are looking. We want to make our experience simple, meaning if you look back, the greatest success that we have seen in the recent decades are the smartphones, right? When iPhone came, it revolutionized how we interact, how we consume the information, how we go about doing anything day to day, or to our office work also, right? If you go back 30 years back and think about how we listen to the music, or 40 years back, we were relying more on the radio, right? We are relying more on the TV to do weekly one show. And then it came to the walkie talkie, bulky ones. I remember still it's like this big, with a cassette player and batteries, and then put a headphone and you can listen. But it gave such a pleasure, you are able to listen to the music that you want at the time when you want it. And then when they introduced the music players, the digital music players, iPods, that totally revolutionized. And if you think about it, Steve Jobs, when he introduced, all his wanted to say everything in one word is 1,000 songs in one device. What it made everybody realize is you can have 1,000 songs in your pocket. That gives me everything. That is so simple way of explaining a product, and so it gives everything what a customer wanted to hear, meaning it explains everything else, right? So in that way, we want to keep it very simple for our customers to who are using our platform, and they can how they can go about and doing their business. For example, when the pandemic hit, one of the largest bank came to us at the last minute, just one day before the actual shutdown announced. They want to move. How do we do it? So it's less than 24 hours to actual lockdown. So we had to figure out how we can help them, how the agents can be equipped, how they can be trained, who all can be trained, and then they go home and then they do the business as usual. So we have overall helped about 25,000 agents during the pandemic to do this same work as if they are at an office sitting at their home with literally very less facilities, and in terms of internet, or their the background noise or whatever, or so many other challenges. Some of them did not even have a proper smartphone, right? So it is making that experience very simple is what we enabled them to do. And being on the cloud is what is first of all helped us to be able to give that kind of offering to our customers.
Very good. Can you also tell me a bit about how exactly are you leveraging new age technologies like AI, analytics, and automation to improve the customer experience? And how do you see these technologies as the growth enabler of the cloud contact center space?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So I just recently mentioned one thing, there are about 7.2 million data centers around the globe, and that's one thing. But then the more interesting thing is the world continues to produce 2.5 million terabytes of data a day. 2.5 million terabytes of data a day is a lot of data. So if you're talking about how do you handle this, right? This is like a ocean, right? It's like you can keep 1 or 2 or 10 or 15 liters of water at can at home, but if it is a ocean, you can't contain it. Like it has to be big need, looking out for a vast area to be able to store that much of information. So the first of all, it's just not possible going forward even think about to keep all this data on premises or to deal within the your four walls. It's just not possible because the amount of data coming out on a daily basis is humongous. It's just not possible, number one. Number two, when you have this much of data, it is just not possible for a human also to be able to analyze and make some kind of a meaning out of it and see that trend and help their customers. Hey, this is what is happening, this is the working best, you could go with this kind of approach. It is not possible because the amount of data that I have to go through to be able to analyze and come up with a particular trend analysis, it's just going to not give me a time. That will take a week. By the time you are producing so much more data, so it is not going to happen. So the AI is inevitable. That's what I'm trying to explain here. So how AI is not a new technology, right? So in fact, in one of my projects, I have introduced AI and used 20 years back in early 2000. So it's not a new technology, but what is new is the cloud, which is enabling businesses to bring all their silos together and make it available. At the same time, it can handle large amount of data, like what I explained, 2.5 million terabytes of data a day. So AI is naturally the choice for observing all this, help us observe all this data and come up with some kind of analysis and say, hey, this is right, this is wrong, this is what people are using, and this is what is working, this is not working. So how you want to slice and dice, right? So that's one of the thing. So using the AI, you have to be really careful, because if you don't define what your AI wanted to do, then it is of no use of having AI. In my opinion, if you don't have a clear strategy, having no AI is better than having an AI, because AI can be biased if you don't go about doing it the right way, and it can totally misguide anyone with the way what it's not supposed to happen. It is very much possible. So you have to, how do you define AI an objective? For example, if you are a bank, for example, can you keep at least 50% of your traffic going to the website or using your chatbot, getting all their answers instead of coming to the calling, making a physical call to a contact center? All right. If you can do that within the 3 months of introducing the project, if you can arrive at an objective like this, it's time specific, a simple problem, don't go to the complex one, and and have your agents free up 50% of their time by pushing away this much of work to automated tool. That's a good starting point, you can implement it, you can make sure it works, you can fine tune it, and you can free up the agents. Freeing up the agents will help you to do a lot more things, handling the large complex queries, and which is otherwise they do not have time to, because they are always looking at the available balance and answering the phone call. Instead, now they are talking about the why the loan is not approved, where it is stuck, and what the customer can do to make that application move forward, and things like that. So that's exactly what the agents are supposed to be doing. So if you implement in this way AI, there are various examples that we can give from the contact center perspective, what we have given and working, right? One of the largest hospital, the biggest one in India right now, all healthcare department hospitals have this the appointment, missing appointments, and not able to make an appointment, and how much the revenue loss. So we have enabled them to be able to automate total appointment booking, and also handle whatever the issues that are associated with the appointments, right? So in one particular case, people were started calling to book appointment, and when we analyze the data, when we help them analyze the data, what we found is their website where they are going to book the appointment, sometimes it's not working. Many times it's not working. So they try a couple of times and then they end up calling. So when we analyze this data and when we give that input back to their backend, the IT team can analyze it and fix that website, and it is taking care of the problem by itself. Meaning the agent, the agents are getting free now because they are not getting that many calls to get an appointment. Now they are able to answer a complex query to the patients who are going through a more difficult time, or lot of complicated procedures and things like that. So that's one success story in the insurance agent, industry. Compliance issue is one of the major thing when you're selling a insurance. For example, you are not supposed to sell without disclosing all the conditions and everything. So this is another example where our voice analytics can be able to use in a right way, can pick up this simple thing that this is supposed to happen that did not happen. So AI can see that pattern and pick this up and put a red alert. And this is exactly what a customer would love to see, because now you are not only protecting yourself from potential lawsuits or everything, you are also ensuring your end customers are making a best informed decision, right? So it's a win-win for as an enterprise client, right? And you are doing it at a fraction of the cost, because you are using the best technology, which is enabling you to get the things done at almost at the real time, not a week back after the call is over. Hey, we did not disclose you this, sorry. You are not calling that time, you are getting alert real time, and you are making a corrective measures at that time, right? So and the other one is the self the service an example I was giving. So if you can enable your agents to do complex, and enable your platform to do automated way of helping the customers, either with a chatbot or with a website or with the different means, this is not only significantly help save time and effort for a customer like ours, but it is going to give them best user experience, which is most important. Because if you think about it, most of the companies today in the environment are providing their the products, their features, everything is almost similar. How do you differentiate yourself with your competition is to give the best experience. Then people like to come back to you as a customer. Hey, if I use this product, there is no problem. Even if there is a problem, they are there to help me. So as a human tendency, you go back to them, right? So this is the best way of retaining the customers as well. So this is how we enable and we use the AI, and I think that's the right way to go about. And there are a lot more to get out of AI in coming years.
Very good. Certainly, we would see many developments on AI and automation.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for your time. This is definitely has been a very insightful and very in depth that we had. Thanks a lot for your time.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.